When a woman secretly wants you, she won't always say it. She won't text it. She won't admit it. But her body will. Not through loud signals, but through small, quiet moments. Moments most men ignore. This isn't for the man who chases. This is for the man who watches. The one who leads with presence and doesn't need to prove himself. Let me show you 5 body language signs women use when they secretly want you, but don't want you to know. Once you see them, you'll never look at women the same again. Sign 1. The pause when you enter. She's in her own world. Talking, smiling, moving like she's got it all under control. To everyone else, she seems relaxed, normal, unbothered. But then you enter. No words, no noise, just presence. And suddenly, something in her shifts. She adjusts her hair, touches her face, fixes her sleeve, checks her phone for no reason. It looks casual, but it's not, because right after that she pauses, only for a second, but it's real. That stillness is the moment her body felt you. Before her brain could explain it, before her emotions could catch up, her nervous system responded first. It's not about looking good. It's about being seen by you. That small freeze, that tiny flicker of hesitation, it means everything. It's not performance. It's instinct. Her body says, "He's here, something just changed." And she doesn't even know why she's doing it. She just feels the shift in the air. You didn't need to speak. You didn't need to make a move. You just walked in with presence. And her whole rhythm reacted. That moment of pause, that's when you became the most important energy in the room. Not by force, not by charm, but by simply existing in your calm. Sin 2, the change in her voice. At first, she talks like everyone else. Fast, light, effortless. She's in the flow of conversation, until you show up. Then something shifts. Her pace slows. Her voice lowers. Each word takes longer to leave her lips. It's not because she's shy, not because she's unsure. It's because your presence makes her aware. Aware of how close you are. Aware of how you're listening. Aware of how her voice might sound in your mind after she walks away. She doesn't want to rush this moment. She wants to live inside it. She may not even realize it's happening, but her body does. Her nervous system does. And it tells her, slow down, he matters. You'll hear it in the way her tone softens, the way her words stretch just a little longer, the way there's more space between each sentence, like she's not just talking to you. She's feeling you through her words. Even if the topic is simple, the energy is not, because she's not trying to impress you with what she says. She's trying to affect you with how she says it. She wants her voice to stay with you, to linger, to echo in your thoughts when the moment's over. And if you're grounded, if you're listening with stillness, you'll feel it, the change, the shift, the weight behind her words. Not everything needs to be said to be understood. Sometimes, the silence between her words says more than the words themselves ever could. Sign 3, the shoulder shift. This one is quiet. So quiet, most men walk right past it. They're too focused on the big signs, the hair flip, the laugh, the playful tease. But this is subtle. This is real. This is what happens before her mouth can catch up to what her body already knows. She doesn't even notice she's doing it. She's just sitting there, talking to someone else, looking at her phone, maybe walking by, lost in her own world. And then, for no clear reason, her posture shifts. Not her whole body, just her shoulder. One soft roll back, one quiet adjustment. It's not stiff. It's not dramatic. It's like her body is whispering to itself. He's here. It may look like she's fixing how she sits, but really, she's preparing herself emotionally without even knowing it. Her shoulder loosens. Her chest opens slightly. Her frame softens for a second, and she creates just a little more space around herself. But why? Because deep down, her nervous system feels something. Your presence has entered her awareness. And even if she's not making eye contact, even if she hasn't said a word to you, her body already noticed you. This kind of movement doesn't come from flirting. It comes from instinct. When a woman is secretly drawn to you, her body wants to be open, wants to be received, wants to feel safe. And that tiny shoulder shift, that's the first sign of her letting that guard drop. You might see her cross her legs next. Look down. Move her hand. All natural, all small. But it starts with that one shift, like her body was holding tension and let it go when you walked in. She might even do it again without realizing. And every time, it's the same signal. You affect me, I'm not sure why, but I feel it. That's what makes this moment powerful. Because it's not conscious. It's not part of a plan. It's raw, unfiltered, honest. And the truth is, most men miss it. Because they're looking for words. They want permission. They wait to be told. But the man who's still, who's grounded, he notices. He doesn't react. He doesn't lean in. He doesn't break the moment. He just watches. And in doing so, he becomes the man she doesn't need to impress, because he already sees her. That's the difference. Most men try to be noticed. But a Stoic man, he becomes the one who notices first. And in that noticing, he owns the room, without ever needing to speak. Sign 4, the almost touch. This moment doesn't come with fanfare. No dramatic shift in the room. No sudden music swelling in the background. It's quiet. So quiet that if you blink or worse, if you're too focused on yourself, you'll miss it entirely. She's close. Not the kind of close that makes people stare. Not so near that it demands attention, but close enough that your skin becomes aware of hers before your brain even registers it. It's subtle. It's charged. It's the kind of closeness that builds pressure without needing distance to disappear. Her hand moves. Slow. Intentional. Casual. Maybe she's handing you a pen, a glass, her phone. Maybe she's brushing a crumb from the table. Or maybe she doesn't need to move at all. But still, she does. And it happens. The graze. The contact. A feather-light touch so small it could be denied. Her fingers skim yours. The edge of your hand. Maybe the inside of your wrist. Just long enough to feel it, but short enough to question it. And that's the point. It's not meant to be obvious. It's not meant to scream. It's meant to linger in your body, in your chest, in the back of your mind. Because if she didn't want that moment to exist, it wouldn't. She could have moved faster, could have taken a different route, could have passed you the object with an extra inch of distance. But she didn't. She let the moment live, just for a second. And that second, that's everything. That's what we call the almost touch. It's not random. It's not clumsy. It's not coincidence. It's her nervous system speaking louder than her voice ever could. Her mouth may say nothing. Her face may stay calm. But her body just said, I feel something around you, and I want to know what you'll do with that energy. She's not asking if you like her. She's not testing your charm or your confidence. She's testing your control. Will you flinch? Will you chase it? Will you break the tension by leaning too far in, saying too much, trying too hard? Or will you do what most men can't. Will you hold steady? Will you stay still? Will you let it exist without needing to dominate it? Because this kind of woman, she's tuned in. She knows what it feels like when energy is respected versus rushed. She doesn't want someone who reacts to everything. She wants someone who feels everything, but doesn't need to act on it right away. When a man stays grounded during the almost touch, she feels something rare. Safety, recognition, mystery, desire without pressure. You didn't deny the moment. You didn't overplay it. You didn't pretend it wasn't real. You just let it pass. Softly, silently, powerfully. And that's what makes it unforgettable. Because now, she's not just remembering that quick brush of your hand. She's remembering how you handled it. The way your body stayed calm. The way your eyes didn't change. The way your energy didn't reach. It received. That's when she starts asking herself questions she can't answer. Why did it feel so intense? Why did her chest flutter after it ended? Why does she want to do it again without even meaning to? Because the almost touch isn't just about skin. It's about tension. It's about unspoken awareness. It's about two people standing on the edge of something magnetic and not rushing to cross it. This is where real desire lives. Not in the kiss, not in the confession, but in that quiet, electric space where nothing is said and everything is felt. Between skin, between breath, between what almost happened and what still might. Sign 5. The disappear and watch. This is the moment that doesn't come with a sound. No footsteps, no goodbye, no explanation, just stillness. Like the air after lightning. Like something important just happened, but no one's saying it out loud. You had a conversation. Maybe brief, maybe deep. Maybe it was just eye contact, a shared laugh, or a second of silence that didn't feel empty. It didn't last long, but it landed. Then she leaves. No drama, no excuse. She doesn't storm off. She doesn't run. She just drifts into another room, another circle, another conversation. And it looks like she's fine, laughing again, talking to someone else, scrolling her phone like nothing happened. But you feel it before you even know why. That part of her didn't leave. It's like the room still carries her weight. Like her presence is hanging just behind your shoulder. Like something is unfinished. There's no spotlight on it. But something shifted. And even if she's out of view, your body knows you're still being watched. And then it happens. Not a loud stare. Not a smile. Not a gesture meant for show. A glance. Small. Stolen. Weighted. It comes when she thinks you're not looking. Behind the edge of her cup. Through the blur of a mirror. From across the room, just slightly over someone's shoulder. It's not flirty. It's not obvious. It's not even intentional. But it's heavy. It holds more tension than 10 conversations. Because it's not for attention, it's for clarity. She's not trying to get a reaction from you. She's trying to feel something again. To check if what she felt was real. Or just a passing illusion. Looking directly at you, that would mean she's ready to let herself be seen. And she's not. Not yet. Not after what she just felt. Because she's not thinking about what you said. She's thinking about how you made her feel without saying much at all. And that's harder to process. Because that's not performance. That's energy. The kind of energy that follows her. Lingers behind her smile. Interrupts her thoughts in the middle of someone else's sentence. So she looks back. Quietly. Privately. And if your eyes watch what happens, she'll either break it too fast, like she wasn't ready to be caught, or she'll hold it too long. Like her heart is asking questions, her lips are too afraid to speak. Both are truth. Both are raw. Both are rare. You didn't ask for this. You didn't force it. You just existed with presence. And that's exactly what made the moment so heavy for her. Because she's used to men trying too hard, saying too much, reaching too fast. But you didn't reach. You remained. Still, solid, unshaken. And now she's not trying to figure you out like a puzzle. She's trying to figure out herself in your presence. Why she suddenly felt soft around you. Why she froze mid-thought when you looked at her. Why even now. She's in the room, but her mind is still with you. That's what the disappear and watch moment really is. Not her running away. Not her losing interest. It's her going somewhere quiet inside herself, to examine what just bloomed. And here's where most men fail. They chase. They interrupt. They ruin the silence with neediness. But the Stoic man, he doesn't chase. He doesn't panic. He lets her leave because he knows part of her hasn't. He stays rooted, anchored, present. And that presence says everything she needs to hear. I saw you. I felt it too. And I'm not going to cheapen it by forcing what's already real. Now she's not just curious. She's drawn. To the way you handled her. To the way you didn't speak for validation. To the way you gave her space without making her feel like she vanished. Now you're not just a moment she experienced. You're a moment she keeps returning to. In her thoughts. In her stillness. In the soft places no one else gets to see. Because you didn't react. You respected the quiet. And the quiet is where women feel safest. That's when she realizes. She didn't walk away to forget you. She walked away to feel you better. A Stoic man lives in a world that looks the same as everyone else's. But he experiences it differently. Not because he's special. Not because life treats him better. But because he moves through it with intention. With discipline, with stillness. He's not hungry for eyes on him. He's not dancing for approval. He's not shaping himself to fit the trends, the likes, or the expectations. He's rooted, grounded, and unshakable. He doesn't walk into a room with noise. He walks in with presence. A quiet kind of gravity that pulls without asking. Because he's not trying to be noticed. He already knows who he is. Most men are out here exhausting themselves, talking over silence, oversharing to prove they have value, performing to earn attention that never lasts. But the Stoic man, he's not running that race, because he understands something deeper. When you stop chasing, the right things find you. Desire doesn't shout. It whispers. In moments. In energy. In the quiet changes you only catch when you're still enough to feel them. He sees it in the way she plays with her jewelry when he's near. In the sudden pause in her sentence when he enters the space. In the breath she holds for no reason when he looks at her. She might not even know she's doing it. But her body does. Her nervous system does. And the Stoic man? He sees all of it. Not because he's looking, but because he's present. Because he's not filling the room with ego. He's absorbing it with awareness. He doesn't need to talk much. Because when your energy speaks clearly, words become a luxury, not a requirement. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. No reaction. No attempt to fix. No need to impress. Just stillness. And in that stillness, something sacred happens. She stops performing. She stops editing herself. She drops the mask. Because the truth is, women don't open up for the loudest man in the room. They open up for the one who makes them feel safest when they say nothing at all. And around a man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't judge, who doesn't try to rush what's meant to unfold naturally. A woman softens. She starts showing you the things she hides from everyone else. Not in her words, but in the small shifts, the longer glances, the nervous smile followed by silence. That's her real truth. The Stoic man doesn't grab at it. He doesn't rush to define it. He simply holds space for it, with respect, with calm, with strength, because he doesn't need to control connection. He knows that what's real will stay, and what's not meant for him will fade without breaking him. He doesn't need to ask, "Do you like me?" He doesn't need to fish for validation, because he's tuned in enough to read the energy before a single word is spoken. And if the energy's not there, he doesn't collapse. He doesn't force it. He simply lets go, with peace, with grace, because his power doesn't come from being needed. It comes from being whole. Here's the truth most men never understand. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. You don't need to chase something real. If a woman is drawn to you, you'll feel it in the way the air changes when she enters, in the way she lingers when she says goodbye, in the way she comes back around, even after walking away. And if she's not, you don't take it personal. You take it as direction. You move on. Because the Stoic man isn't afraid to walk away. And that's exactly why people want him to stay. He doesn't just leave a mark. He leaves space. And it's in that space that she starts to feel everything she couldn't say. So if you've ever felt it, that pause, that stare, that strange moment where you knew she wanted to say something, but didn't, comment, seen. Let's see how many men are finally waking up to the power of silence, to the language of energy, to the art of being a man who doesn't chase noise, but understands the quiet.